I would take him number one, Skip, because I believe he has the most impressive, extensive portfolio. You look at it, you talk about the games that he lost, but let's talk about the games that he won. A 13-point comeback against the University of Georgia in the national championship game. Not as the starter, he got up off the bench. And when we talk about walk-off, how about the walk-off game-winning touchdown throw as a true freshman? Okay, the highest career passer efficiency in NCAA history, the highest QBR since they started tracking this stat 15 years ago. That's what his body of work is, Skip. He's elite as far as anticipation. His arm talent is undeniable. Can fit the ball in a tight window. Skip, it's kind of like a wide receiver. The most impressive thing, the separation at the top of the break. Do you let the quarterback know, I'm entering this break, I'm coming out with a head of steam? Well, for the quarterback, his anticipation to be able to release the ball and put the ball where the receiver not only just catches the football, but gives him an opportunity to do something with it after he catches the football. It's better. Skip, for me, a lot of teams, if they pass on this kid, if I'm saying the Miami or the Chargers, pass on this kid and take Justin Herbert, they're going to make the same mistake that Chicago made. Because what I'm starting to hear, Skip, is like, well, Justin Herbert didn't have a whole lot of talent around him. When you're looking at Deshaun Watson, staring you in the same conference, he's staring at you, and you're like, well, if you put some talent around him, I think Trubisky is better than Deshaun Watson. I think Trubisky is better than Patrick Mahomes. They're going to make the same mistake because you're overthinking it. All you have to do is turn on the tape. Just put the tape on and let the tape speak for itself. Skip, I'm not trying to deny the hip. He fractured his hip. He had the tightrope surgeries, but I believe some of those lower leg injuries, Skip, was caused by he was rushed back and he was overcompensating. And if you look at the game against LSU, Skip, you do remember against LSU this year, he had missed the previous game for the tightrope surgery and came back off of that injury and dropped 418 and 4 touchdowns. Let's not forget that. Not making excuses. They did lose. He put up 40 points to the eventual national champion. And Skip Bayless used to give high kudos because I know a guy that threw for 505, Jenny, and 33 points, and that wasn't good enough, and they blamed the defense. Not one time did I hear him say, ain't Nick. I would take Tua, Skip, because I've seen enough. 3 years of that portfolio has sold me that would be my guy. But Cincinnati seems to be bent on taking and I got no problem with them taking Burrow, Ohio kid. But Miami don't make that mistake of passing this kid and taking Justin Herbert.
So I want to be completely clear about this. Okay. You have zero concerns about Tua's injury history and how that will project into pro football.
Skip, I always have concern when a guy's shown me that he's been injured. I mean, I'm sure the Texans had concerns because Deshaun Watson blew his knee out 2 years or earlier. So, yeah, there's always concern if a guy's had a major injury in college. But, Skip, I guess all his doctors have cleared him. It hurts him somewhat, Skip, because they can't get an opportunity to let their doctors look at him and examine him firsthand. But I've seen enough. The tape don't lie. His tape is significantly better than Justin Herbert. There's no denying that.
Okay, I'll definitely give you that. It is not better than Burrow's tape. Burrow had the greatest year we've ever seen in the history of college football, and it wasn't just 2 or 4 or 6 games. It was all the way home, and those last 3 games were spectacular. SEC championship game, Oklahoma, Clemson. He was 16 touchdowns to 0 interceptions, a QBR of 98 combined in the 3. I've never seen anything like it. He did not miss a throw in any game I watched all year, which is why I have told you from the start, and finally we're going to get some resolution tonight, but I have told you that even if you told me that Tua had 0 injury history and was 1,000% healthy, I would still take Joe Burrow over Tua right here, right now, tonight. But you're saying even if you were Cincinnati, you would take Tua. I don't really care that Burrow's an Ohio kid. It's still not going to play. It just depends whether he can play or not. Can he win football games for the woeful Bengals? That's all that matters in the end. You know, Ohio connection, it's a little icing on the cake, but that's all. So go ahead. Do you want to say something?
But yes, Skip, but that definitely helps because if you look at the situation with Atlanta, they had an opportunity to take Luka Doncic. What did they do? They says, no, we want Trae Young because Trae Young plays better in Atlanta than Luka Doncic. Absolutely that plays into it, Skip Bayless. Trust me, if two quarterbacks are fairly even and Atlanta Falcons have the first pick, one of them's Cam Newton and the other guy is Joe Suitcase. Which one do you think they're taking, Skip? They're taking Cam Newton because it's going to play to where he's going to play. Absolutely that weighs into it.
No, it does not weigh into it. Joe Burrow didn't do anything at Ohio State except get hurt. He did not win a national championship for the Ohio State. Nobody cares. He left his home state. He went to LSU. He recreated a culture on offense at LSU and then would come home back to the Cincinnati area. Obviously, it's not good enough to me, but here's all you need to know. Adam Schefter is now reporting what has been speculated. I've seen lots of reports about this along the trail leading up to today, but Adam is now reporting that the Dolphins tried to use all of their draft capital to trade up to 1 and take Burrow at 1 instead of Cincinnati. And remember, the Dolphins have just an embarrassment of riches in this draft. They have 14 picks. They have 3 first-round picks. They have 2 2s, 3 5ths. They have 3 7ths. They could have taken and bundled all of it and offered it to go up, and still Cincinnati, to its credit, said, nope, he's too good. We're taking Joe Burrow #1 overall. So now even the Dolphins apparently have shown their cards. They prefer Burrow over Tua. And now the question remains, would they just sort of get desperate enough at 5 to say, well, okay, we'll back into taking Tua? He is high risk. He's medium high reward. I don't see a great player. I see a very good one. I give you that. I like a lot of things about him, Shannon. I like the lightning release. I like the flair for making throws into tight windows. But there's a whole lot I don't like also. But my point to you is even the team at number 5 is saying, we're panicked. We don't want to take 2 at 5. We want to take Joe Burrow at number 1. So here we go. So you still think the Dolphins will take Tua at number 5 then?
I do. I believe it all is a smoke screen. I believe this is a red herring. I do not believe the Dolphins are going to pass on Tua. I believe it's to prevent someone from moving up. I believe if Tua is on the board at 5 and the Dolphins makes that selection, now somebody could possibly trade up with the Dolphins, but it doesn't make any sense for me, Skip, because clearly the Dolphins need a quarterback. Now, I get that they have Ryan Fitzpatrick, and I believe he is a tremendous bridge because theoretically, Skip, you could take Tua and you could give you could take Tua and Fitzpatrick is already in place, and you could give him this entire season to make sure if you have any, you know what, maybe he needs another month or 6 weeks or yada yada to get to make sure that hip is fully healed. So you'd have a great bridge. But Skip, if I'm the Miami Dolphins, they've been searching for a guy in this position for 20 years. Dan Marino last year in Miami was 1999. So it's 20 years. He retired in 2000. It's been 21 years, Skip, since they've had a quarterback. I believe Tua is the guy. And the point I'm making, Skip, is that you look at Cam. Cam is from Atlanta. Cam did nothing for the University of Georgia. Cam cut his bones at Auburn, won a national championship for Auburn. But given that he's from Atlanta, given that Joe Burrow is from Ohio, Skip, look, states love their own. That's just the way it is. Now, I believe that they're going to take Tua at the 5th spot. I do believe that, and I've always believed that because, Skip, remember when everybody thought they were going to have the #1 pick, everybody had Tua plugged in. Joe Burrow was not even on anyone's radar. Joe Burrow went from being a 3rd or 4th round pick to the #1 overall pick after 1 season. I like the portfolio. Look, I'm going to go with the guy, Skip. If I'm a guy, I'm going to go with the guy that's shown steady gains over the course of a long period of time. I don't want the guy handling my money that had 1 peak year. Oh, no, bro. That's too risky. Is Joe Brady going to be calling them plays? That's what I need to know. Is Joe Brady going to be calling them plays? Because I've seen Tua in 2 different systems play phenomenal. And I've only seen Joe Burrow play great in 1 system for 1 year. So that's all I need to know. If Joe Brady's going to call the plays and he's going to Cincinnati, but last I checked, he's going to be calling plays for Teddy Bridgewater. So I would take Tua.
Okay.
Miami.
My turn. Yeah. I would be hesitant to take Tua anywhere in the first round. And I definitely would not touch Tua with a top 10-foot pole, as in any place in the top 10. I'm saying no, 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 too risky, because we are talking about a 5-alarm injury history. We're not talking about Drew Brees. And obviously, the Dolphins under Nick Saban passed on Drew Brees when he had a shoulder issue, right shoulder surgery. And Nick Saban said, it's too risky. And obviously, we know the rest is NFL history. But Tua has had way too many injuries in college. And now we're back to the old bromide, hurt in college, hurt in the pros.
Thank you for watching. You can subscribe here to get the latest from the show, and be sure to check out more of the best clips from Undisputed, or go watch a few other segments from our other shows on FS1.